Hey, what's up guys, welcome back to another brand new video. I hope you guys are all doing well. So in today's video, I'm going to give you guys an update. Even though yes, Bitcoin is still not moving, right? You guys can clearly see it's still, pretty much consolidating. And we know, okay, if we go to the 4 hour time frame here, right, zoom out a little bit, you guys can clearly see that Bitcoin has not been moving for the past over 2 weeks. Okay, it's been over 14 days, right? I think it's coming up to 3 weeks now where we actually seen Bitcoin hovering between $30,000 and $31,000. It seems like to me, right, that yes, you guys can clearly see in this chart, every single time Bitcoin just touches $31,000 or slightly surpasses over 31,000, if it goes up to like 31.5, 31.8 even, right? It seems like it always wants to drop back down to that 30K level. And I'm telling you guys this right now, soon enough. And I've been telling us this, for the past few days now, our previous videos, right? I've been telling you guys that it looks like Bitcoin is ready to have a breakout, right? That's just my personal Bitcoin prediction, right? Bitcoin looking like it wants to have a breakout very, very soon. It cannot consolidate, okay, at this level for a very, long time or forever, right? It can never do this forever, okay? Bitcoin has to break out very, very soon. So Bitcoin is clearly having a very strong resistance line, okay, and of course a support level, right? But this support level is looking pretty good for Bitcoin, okay. At least Bitcoin is still at $30,000, and guess what? I told you guys many times, when Bitcoin is in fact consolidating, right, at this moment, I think it's a good time to buy. You know what I mean? It really, really is. Bitcoin is coming at $30,000, and I told you guys, right, Bitcoin will in fact have another rally up to the upside. We know, right, all of 2023 so far, Bitcoin has in fact been slowly recovering from its previous lows, which was $15,000. And of course, right, if we go to the weekly time frame here, okay, Bitcoin has in fact been slowly recovering back up to its upsides, because we know 2022 Bitcoin was in fact having this massive falling wedge. It was just dropping that entire year. I think that was literally one of the worst bear markets ever. We're still in a bear market in my opinion, but I will say this, we are in fact starting to see the next bull market. Okay, and I will say that what we are seeing right now, especially all of 2023, since Bitcoin has in fact been recovering, you guys can clearly see that it's been pumping back up to its upside, right? We are obviously in the early stages of the next bull market, right? So that's looking pretty good for Bitcoin. Okay, it really, really is. But yeah, Bitcoin right now, guys, okay, like I said many times, it's not really moving. Okay, it's still consolidating at this level of $30,000. But like I said, soon enough, it looks like Bitcoin will in fact have another breakout out to the upside, right? Now, the crypto market today is looking pretty boring once again, just like yesterday. Okay, even the day before that, right? A couple of days ago, we saw, Bitcoin pumping, we saw Ethereum pumping, we saw XRP pumping. Okay, a fair few altcoins were in fact pumping, right? It was a pretty good day, but the market slightly after that, right? It's not really moving, okay? But still, okay, everything's still looking pretty good. XRP is still holding up very well above 70 cents, kind of 74 cents, and it's actually up 4% today for the past 24 hours. So that's great to see for XRP. It's still at number 4, so that's always great to see. But overall, the market is down 0.38%. Okay, and Bitcoin, Ethereum is not really moving. You can clearly see other altcoins are actually slightly dropping this morning. You guys can clearly see that Cardano down 3%, Dogecoin 2%, Tron 1%, Polygon 4%, Litecoin 2%. Same with Polkadot, Avalanche is 3%. Okay, you guys can see Shiba Inu 3%, Chainlink 3.8%, Cosmos 3%. So you guys get the gesture, right? A fair few altcoins today for the past 24 hours are in fact in the reds and actually slightly having a drop. Now, of course, I want to show you guys a fair few charts. Okay, starting with this one today, zero volatility in the last 28 days for Bitcoin. For the last 28 days, I was pretty much coming up to a month, guys. Okay, like I said, it's been about 3 weeks, okay, since we haven't really seen Bitcoin move, right? Ever since we had this pump up, Bitcoin hasn't really been moving. It's been hovering, like I said many times, between $30,000 and $31,000. We actually haven't seen Bitcoin break 32K yet. You know what I mean? Bitcoin hasn't even touched 32K. And I told you guys many times, right? Once we actually see Bitcoin surpass $32,000, I think that is when the next rally will continue on to the upside. Okay, and obviously that's going to be some huge news because Bitcoin's obviously going to, reach a new high for this year in 2023. So yes, right now, since Bitcoin is in fact having no volatility right now, okay, it's not really moving, okay, it's pretty much consolidating and it's moving on its side, right? It's just going sideways. Right now is the perfect time to buy it, in my opinion, right? It really, really, really is. We know Bitcoin at $30,000 is obviously very, very cheap. Bitcoin right now is nowhere near from its previous all-time high. So right now is obviously the perfect time, okay, to buy some Bitcoin. Okay, it really, really is. In fact, I might actually buy some Bitcoin, more Bitcoin today or tonight or maybe even tomorrow morning. Okay, we will see. I will obviously make a video showing you guys that I am in fact buying more Bitcoin. And I gotta say, guys, I've been buying as much Bitcoin as I possibly can at this level of $30,000. You guys saw last week I made a video, okay, buying Bitcoin at 30K in 2023. If you guys haven't seen that video, you should definitely check it out. But yeah, I've been buying Bitcoin. Like, I've been trying to buy as much Bitcoin as I possibly can at this level of $30,000 because I think right now is the perfect time to buy Bitcoin. And guess what? If Bitcoin does in fact break support, if it goes back down to like 29 to 28 to even 27 or lower, I'm buying. Right, very unlikely to happen though. I think Bitcoin is going to have a breakout to the upside, right, not to the downside. That's just my personal opinion. If it doesn't have if it does have a retest back down to the downside, it's not going to drop too much. Okay, that's what you guys have to understand, right? So in my opinion, it's all up from here, right? It really, really is. Okay, and you guys can clearly see this chart shows that. We know Bitcoin has in fact been consolidating. This is where Bitcoin is right now, a very, very strong support level and of course resistance line. And soon enough, okay, Bitcoin will potentially break this resistance line very, very soon. And you guys have to understand, we are in fact in recovery mode, right? That's what I want you guys to understand here. And you guys can clearly see when Bitcoin does in fact have these consolidations, it does actually have a breakout, right? Majority of the time, even if it does in fact have a little retest back down to the downside, it will break out, guys. Okay, you guys can clearly see. Okay, we had a rally right here. Okay, one right here, one right here, one right here, and of course one right here. And I really do believe we're gonna have one right up here. Okay, it's gonna pump all the way up to around $35,000. That is the target that I've been, mentioning many times. So I think that's very, very possible, for Bitcoin, guys. Okay, it's gonna break resistance, and we're gonna see Bitcoin reach 32, 33, 34, 35, 38, and $40,000. Very, very soon. That's just my personal opinion, okay? It looks like Bitcoin is ready to have a breakout. And it's all us from here, guys, okay? It really, really is, okay? The bull market has only just begun, okay? I wouldn't say we are officially in the bull market, but, this is, the beginning, the early stages of the next bull market, guys, okay? We already hit bottom, which was 15K last November, okay? Now Bitcoin ever since then has been slowly recovering back up to the upside. Right, so it's all ups from here, guys. Even though yes, Bitcoin, okay, it's gonna have some small little retest back down to the downside. It's volatile, we know that, but majority of the time, we're gonna see Bitcoin reach closer and closer and closer back up to its previous all-time highs, which was $69,000. So be excited for that, guys. Okay, now this is where Bitcoin is. Okay, and I want you guys to understand. This chart just shows you guys, right? This chart just shows you guys, okay, that Bitcoin pretty much long term, it performs better, right? Of course, short term, right? A few minutes time or the daily, right? It's not really, moving, you know what I mean? But long term, guys, Bitcoin does move pretty well. Okay, so you guys can clearly see the top. This is the 5-minute, okay? And this is what Bitcoin has in fact been doing. 1 hour, okay? It's just been consolidating, okay? It hasn't really been moving a very, very strong, support level. You guys can see that. And of course, resistance line. And this is the daily chart, right, where Bitcoin is in fact slowly recovering up to the upside. So this pretty much just shows you guys it's all about patience here, right, with Bitcoin, okay, especially long term, right? Yes, Bitcoin right now, okay, it may not be moving and such and such and such, but you guys have to understand it will pump like crazy, you know what I mean, in the next few years. We know the bull market is about to happen. We know the Bitcoin halving is about to happen literally less than a year from now. Right, April 24, right, April 24, potentially April or May, but I'm going to stick with April. Around that time, we know the Bitcoin halving is going to happen, and we know every single time we have the Bitcoin halving, that's where Bitcoin really tends to pump the most, right? So it's all exciting times, guys. Even though, yes, right now it seems sort of boring, Bitcoin is still not really moving, it's consolidating. I understand that, but guys, like I said many times, when Bitcoin is consolidating this much, where it's not really moving, it's the most important. This is where you should really stack as much Bitcoin as you possibly can. Because imagine, right, out of nowhere, right, Bitcoin just pumps all the way up to $35,000, $38,000 to $40,000 out of nowhere, right? And then you miss that opportunity of buying Bitcoin at 30K. And yes, guys, right, I told you guys many times, you should never really time the market, right? But when Bitcoin is in fact consolidating, especially for this long, for over 2 weeks, for pretty much 3 weeks, is a good time to start buying, right? It really, really, really is. Or continue to buy. If you haven't been buying, okay, if you have been buying, buy more, okay? Buy more, guys, okay? You know, it's not bad to buy Bitcoin at 30K, especially if you're investing for long term. Trust me on that. Not financial advice. Always do your own research, guys. So that's that, right? And it's all up from here. Yes, Bitcoin will in fact have a breakout. Once the halving actually happens, we're not gonna see Bitcoin pump straight away. That's what I want you guys to understand. I've been mentioning this many times in my past videos. Like, once the halving actually happens for Bitcoin, okay, it's not gonna pump straight away, like pump straight up, right? You got to give it a few weeks time, a few months time even, and that's why I've been telling you guys, you know, towards the end of the year in 2024, that's when we're gonna see really the real pump for Bitcoin starting to happen. You know, the next bull run, the next parabolic bull run, right? Parabolic movement for Bitcoin. So the end of 2024, we're going to see Bitcoin pump like crazy. And of course, early 2025, in fact, all of 2025, we're going to see Bitcoin pump like crazy, guys. Okay. So exciting times are in fact coming for Bitcoin. You're just going to be very, very patient, guys. Okay. And patient it is, right? You guys can see this structure right now for Bitcoin. Okay, so you guys can see back in 2013 to 2017, 1, 2, 3, and then we had a bottom, and then we had this little market structure, and then Bitcoin just break out, right? In 2017, it went all as high as $19,000, right? And at that time, everyone was talking about Bitcoin. Everyone was just talking about it, right? Retail investors, just people in general. Okay, and of course, you know, news channels and whatnot, everyone was just talking about Bitcoin, and they had that FOMO when it was pumping, and then obviously it crashed, right? In 2018, it had a crash. 2019, it was slowly having a crash, but 2019 has slowly recovered. You guys can see that. Even 2020. Okay, so what we're seeing right now is our 1, 2, 3. Okay, and of course we hit a bottom, which was $15,000 last November, and we know Bitcoin was in fact stuck at that bottom for like 2 months, right? In November and December, we saw Bitcoin pretty much stuck at 16K for a fair bit of time. So then out of nowhere, just pumped, right? So this is market structure, and it seems like history is going to repeat itself, just like what it did back in 2013, 2017. It's going to happen in 2021 and 2025, guys. So be excited for that for all my Bitcoin holders out there, because a huge pump is in fact happening for Bitcoin. It's coming, guys. Okay, so be prepared for that. Very exciting times. Okay, so yes, Bitcoin looks like it's going to have a little breakout. We hit bottom. Okay, it is in fact slowly forming a new pattern up to the upside, and it seems like Bitcoin will easily reach back up to its previous all-time highs, which was $69,000, and of course reach a new all-time high. And I think that's going to happen sometime next year in 2024. I don't think it's going to happen this year. I think it's going to happen next year, sometime in 2024. Okay, I reckon towards, you know, the end of the year, maybe, right? But we will see. Time will tell, guys. Okay, but it's looking pretty good for Bitcoin. Some exciting times are in fact happening, 100%. Now the Bitcoin monthly returns. Just give you guys a little update on this, since it's been a few days since I gave you guys an update on this. But since Bitcoin is in fact obviously back down. Okay, let me just get rid of this. Since Bitcoin is obviously back down at $30,000 and is still sort of staying at this level of 30,300, right? It obviously dropped. You know, we actually saw Bitcoin a couple of days ago when, you know, when XRP was pumping, when Ripple actually, you know, won the lawsuit with the SEC, and we saw XRP pumping, and of course altcoins were pumping, including Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin pumped as high as 31,800, almost 900. It went almost up to $32,000. It would have been amazing to see Bitcoin reach a new high for, you know, this year in 2023, but it didn't. Obviously, it had a correction back down to the downside, and here we are. It's now consolidating at this level. So since Bitcoin did in fact have this, you know, I wouldn't say a massive drop, but a drop back down to 30K, nothing too crazy. It's now, you know, this month it's now down 0.78%. I remember the last time I gave you guys an update on this, it was up 3.5%. So things can change, but I am still hoping that this month is still going to be a good month for Bitcoin. Hopefully, right? We are in fact coming up to over 2 weeks now for this month in July. So this month is not really about to end, but we're pretty much more than halfway through this month. So we will see what's going to happen with Bitcoin the next 2 weeks for this month. But I reckon it's going to perform pretty well. Hopefully, fingers crossed, because usually July, you guys can see Bitcoin does perform pretty well for this month of July. So time will tell. We will see. But in my opinion, Bitcoin is still holding up very well, especially at $30,000. Right? It's still holding strong. That's what I want you guys to understand. Okay, and we don't want Bitcoin to pump just yet. We know that, right? Because a lot of us investors, especially retail investors, people like you and me, we want to stack as much Bitcoin as we possibly can, especially at this level. That's just my personal opinion, right? Because buying Bitcoin at 30K and understanding where it's going to be heading in the next few years, buying right now is a steal. We are still early, guys. That's what I want you guys to understand. I'm pretty sure we all know that. Okay. But yeah, buy Bitcoin, guys. Stack as much Bitcoin as you possibly can. I think right now is the perfect time to do that. Not financial advice. Always do your own research. But guys, I'm going to go ahead and end this one here. Hope you guys all enjoyed it. Give a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. Let's get to 3,000 subscribers. I would really appreciate that as well. And I'll catch you guys all in the next video. Have a blessed day, guys.